There's a whole lot of goals in this year's NHL All Star game at San Jose, California, and it's always entertaining when there's a ton of scoring. But first, let's go over the All Star skills competition. And what a way to start it off with the race between the mascots. Sharky, the home mascot, versus everyone's favorite mascot, Gritty. And I think Gritty won for the style points, to say the least. And so for the fastest skater, it was the Edmonton Oilers captain Connor McDavid with a time of 13.378 seconds. Takes it home for a third straight year in a row, beating the Buffalo Sabres captain Jack Eichel's time by about 0.2 of a second, even beat his own time last year by almost 1/10 of a second. Now onto the puck control, it was the Calgary Flames' Johnny Gaudreau. With another near-flawless performance at 27.045 seconds, defends his title in this event, beating the Chicago Blackhawks' Patrick Kane by 1.5 seconds. And onto my favorite event, the save streak. The Vegas Golden Knights' Marc-Andre Fleury had a nice run, with some nice stretch saves to try to win it again. But the Winnipeg Jets' Blake Wheeler shot just rolled in under him. And so the winner here was King Henrik Lundqvist of the New York Rangers, making 13 saves and the only one to hit double digits. This year's premier passer was Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers with a pretty clean 1 minute and 9 seconds, beating the Carolina Hurricanes' Sebastian Aho by 9.5 seconds. The hardest shot goes to the Washington Capitals' John Carlson at 102.8 miles per hour. He was a bit of a dark horse in this one, beating the favorite Brent Burns of the San Jose Sharks by about 2 miles per hour. I guess Ovi gave his hardest shot-winning power to his teammate. And finally, for the accuracy shooting, the Boston Bruins' David Pastrnak wins it after starting it off with an impressive 11.309 seconds, setting the bar too high for everyone else, as it was the home Pacific Division having 3 winners of the 6 events. But my favorite moment of All-Star Friday night was when Toronto Maple Leafs' Austin Matthews paid tribute to his teammate and former Sharks player Patrick Marleau, revealing his jersey under his own, and it was much to the delight of the Sharks fans, as the San Jose crowd gave a nice standing ovation. Then a nice group photo right after with the fellow Sharks All-Stars. Now for the All-Star game, for the first semifinal game between the home Pacific Division versus the Central Division, the 3 Sharks put on some early pressure but couldn't score, so the Central jumped on the scoreboard first, with Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche putting it in after the first minute. Then 30 seconds later, with goalie John Gibson of the Anaheim Ducks scrambling at the side of the net, the other Colorado Avalanche Gabriel Landeskog slots it into the goal, making it 2-0. Halfway through the first half, Gibson pokes away a scoring chance, and the puck rolls out to the San Jose Sharks' Erik Karlsson, who skates it down alone the other way, and puts the Pacific on the board, making it a 2-1 game. But right out of the break, the Central get it back, with the Chicago Blackhawks' Patrick Kane over to Roman Josi of the Nashville Predators, who buries the 2-on-1 chance. A few seconds later, Kane in on Gibson and goes 5-hole, so it's 4-1. The Winnipeg Jets' Mark Scheifele goes top shelf, making it 5-1. Not done there, as Rantanen snipes top shelf as well, 6-1. And another 2-on-1 chance with Kane at the end of it this time, as the Nashville Predators goalie Pekka Rinne has some nice saves himself, closes out the period with a 7-1 lead. So right out of the half, the Central Division continue with the top shelf snipes, with Landeskog on the Vegas Golden Knights' Marc-Andre Fleury 8-1. 2 minutes into the half, the St. Louis Blues' Ryan O'Reilly steals a puck at the Pacific blue line, and Fleury tries to come out to stop him, but O'Reilly dekes past him and scores 9-1. 3 minutes later, after the Minnesota Wild's Devin Dubnyk makes stop after stop, even with a beauty glove save, Landeskog carries the puck and dekes out Fleury to one-handed in, making it 10-1. So you know what? The Calgary Flames head coach Bill Peters calls for his own guy, Johnny Gaudreau, and Johnny answers a call, finally solving Dubnyk. So finally they score, and it was 10-2. Then a couple Sharks connect with some passing. Karlsson to Pavelski, back to Karlsson, who stuffs it into the open net, 10-3. Then the third Shark wanted in on the scoring, and Burns blows one past Dubnyk himself, but that's all the home Pacific will find as they run out of time. So the Central Division advanced to the final game with a dominant 10-4 victory. Now onto the second semifinal game featuring the Atlantic Division versus the Metropolitan Division. Sidney Crosby, the Pittsburgh Penguins captain, right out of the gates, shoots it past Andrei Vasilevsky of the Tampa Bay Lightning for the early lead for the Metro. 2 minutes in, they add another. The New Jersey Devils' Kyle Palmieri with a nice pass to the Columbus Blue Jackets' Seth Jones on the back door, so it was 2-0. But the Buffalo Sabres captain Jack Eichel gets it right back, off the draw to make it 2-1. Minutes later, the Tampa Bay Lightning's captain Steven Stamkos sneaks in front of New York Rangers goalie Henrik Lundqvist, and the puck falls to him as he stick handles and puts it in to tie the game up 2-2. 20 seconds left in the half, Jones steals the puck in the Atlantic zone and flips it up and under the bar to give the Metropolitan Division a 3-2 lead at the half. Less than a minute into the second half, the Buffalo Sabres' Jeff Skinner curls and drags in front of the net and puts it up and in to tie it up again at 3s. Minutes later, it was the Toronto Maple Leafs' John Tavares on a breakaway and also goes for the bar on a backhand and gets the lead for the Atlantic 4-3. Right out of the break, it was Crosby going short side for the tie once again at 4-4. Then it was his teammate Chris Letang in on Jimmy Howard of the Detroit Red Wings. The defenseman looked like a forward faking and scoring, so a bit of a pattern here as the Metro jump on top again 5-4. But next it was the Carolina Hurricanes' Sebastian Aho, who throws it past a scrambling Howard to extend to 6-4. And with time winding down, Tampa Bay Lightning head coach John Cooper pulls Howard under the guidance of sideline reporter Scott Oak, and that's when they turned the puck over, and the Metropolitan Division will ice it for a competitive 7-4 win. Last year, it was the Pacific Division versus the Atlantic Division in the final, so it was quite fitting that the $1 million final this year was between the Central Division and the Metropolitan Division, and it was the New York Islanders' Matthew Barzal with a beauty shot top shelf to open up the scoring, and then the Philadelphia Flyers' Claude Giroux got a breakaway, and scores on Dubnyk on 2 tries for a 2-0 Metro lead, and they continued the pressure on the Central, moving the puck all around the zone, and eventually it was Letang who goes 5-0 for a 3-0 game. And then we witnessed an unlikely All-Star penalty shot, but Jones mishandles the puck. And there was a review and a no-goal too. Minutes later, Jones tries to go between the legs, but Dubnyk stretches out, and it was Palmieri who buries the puck for the 4-0 score. Crosby adds another right before the end of the half for a commanding 5-0 lead. Second half, the Central finally find the back of the net, as it was Landeskog who beats the Washington Capitals' Braden Holtby. Then they tally another as it was Yossi behind the goal, to Rantanen who was in front, so it was a 5-2 Metropolitan lead. But the Metro find their first of the half, as it was Crosby sitting in front of the net, and tips a shot up and over Rinne. Seconds later, O'Reilly gets the goal back for the Central, to cut the lead in half so a 6-3 game. Then Aho on a break the other way, up and over the shoulder for the goal. The Columbus Blue Jackets' Cam Atkinson finds another, as the Metropolitan extends it to an 8-3 lead. That forces the Central to pull their goalie early, and Barzal scores 1-on-4, to put the game away out of reach 9-3. The Avalanche pair gets a 2-on-0 goal as Rantanen gets one, and so does the Winnipeg Jets' Blake Wheeler, but Atkinson pots another empty netter, as the Metropolitan Division doubles up on the Central Division 10-5 to take home the $1 million prize. So after the Central Division destroy the home Pacific Division, they get a taste of that in the final from the Metropolitan Division, as Domination wins it all at this year's NHL All Star game. Sidney Crosby wins the All Star MVP, after leading his team with 2 goals and an assist in the semifinal battle, then 2 goals and 3 assists in their final game. So he missed the skills competition due to illness and comes back and wins the MVP. So another fun All-Star weekend this year, and a good luck to your team for the second half of the season. Can't wait to see you guys for the playoffs. And thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you'll tune in to the next episode.